Today on DNVR Buffs Live, the gang is back together. We got RK back in the fold, recapping a massive recruiting weekend for the Buffs. The latest on Brendan Sorsby, the 2014 playoff, Oregon suing a player, and much more. Let's go. Bob Nation.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Squad.
The gang's back together. Live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. It is DNVR Buffs Live on a Monday. We got a massive recruiting weekend to recap. A lot of news to get into. But yeah, look at that photo. All three of us together again. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Big three vibes. Back in full effect. What's cracking, my dog? Great to see you.
Great to see you guys. Missed you guys legitimately.
Hell yeah. For
Likewise.
sure.
It was great out there. It was amazing, amazing honeymoon. We got to do so much cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
But I'm glad to be back. Feels good to be home.
Single best thing you ate out there.
Oh man. Okay. Our last night in Rome, we went to this like tiny little restaurant that probably had like 4 total tables in it.
Those be the ones.
And I had a gnocchi with red meat sauce that was, I described it to this guy who sat down next to me as life-changing.
Wow.
So that was pretty special. And then also in Milan, we went to this place that makes like handmade noodles, literally like right in front of you. And that was pretty amazing too.
That's fire, bro. What was your just favorite day in terms of activity?
We had one like crazy kind of like tourism day in Rome,
Okay.
but that was like really cool to just go see all the different things. The Colosseum was like amazing.
Yeah.
St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican City was jaw dropping. But then the day after that, we just had like a super low key day where we just had no plans, kind of just walked around, got a drink at like every stop, and that was probably my favorite day.
Let's
I
go,
love that.
man.
It's an elite destination. I'm glad y'all had a good time. My mom loved your photo of you at the Coliseum.
Oh yeah,
That was lit.
So I'm like, come on. That was hilarious.
that was great. Yeah, the Coliseum was so sick. It's crazy to think like, I mean, it's basically the size of Folsom in terms of how many people it held.
Right.
Which is insane.
It's just crazy to think like that ended up being the format for all stadiums.
I know.
Like they all look like that. Bro.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
The Romans, man, they were ahead of their time.
They were.
Just think about that thing being packed out.
I know.
Back in the day like
Chanting.
that. Yeah, right. Like it was probably so electric.
Off with his head.
Yeah. Crazy. We actually watched Gladiator while we were out
That's
there.
lit.
Yeah. Let's go.
Rolling in Rome, you know?
I was going to ask, any like sports or anything? How'd you watch the Avs? How was that?
I had a lot of trust in the Avs. I would like wake up, check in, and be like, all right, they got this, and go back to sleep. But no, we didn't go to any sporting events, which was weird. But it just didn't line up where we were like in a place that had a home game while we were there.
What about that night that they were down 3-1 and then scored 2 goals to send it to OT in the last 2 minutes? Do you remember that one?
That was on Wednesday.
Yeah, I
Game
did
6, I
not
think?
watch that one.
Okay.
No, all the games were at like 2 a.m. We didn't
Right.
get like one late start where at least it would start at 4:30.
Right.
So that was tough. Also, like I was walking like 25,000 steps a day, so we were just so tired.
Damn.
So yeah, but it's great to be back, ready to talk some Buffs.
Let's do it. Do we start off with the recruiting weekend, or do you want to hear what you missed?
You tell me. Let's do the recruiting weekend. Let's go with current events first.
Let's do it. So yeah, we previewed it last week. We talked a lot about the players. Khalil Taylor, a 4-star wide receiver from Pittsburgh. We've talked a lot about him this offseason. He makes it out for his official visit. Dewey Young is a 4-star interior offensive lineman from Kalamazoo who came out. You got a 4-star safety in Gabe Jenkins, also from Pittsburgh, who came out. I think this is ESPN 4-star, Tyler Alexander, who is ginormous, defensive lineman from Wellington, Florida. He came through. LaMarcus Jones from Brentwood, Tennessee, 6'5", 300-pound offensive tackle, rated a 4-star over at 247. Barack Willis, the edge from Alabama, who we've talked quite a bit about this summer as well.
His post was fire.
I was just going to say that.
Go ahead.
Can't have a Boulder without a rock.
Oh, God.
He nailed it.
That was a bar.
Nailed it.
That really was.
Kyron Haywood, who's a 4-star on ESPN, defensive lineman from Denton, Texas. We've talked a little bit about him. He's came out, and Isaiah Alvarez, a wide receiver from New Jersey as well. Many, many more. Marquise Fennell is a guy who we talked about. Will Rasmussen's a guy we've talked about. Was it Drew Sapp who was out there? No,
I don't know. I don't believe Drew Sapp was out here this weekend.
Well, we had a surprise visitor too, though.
Oh yeah,
4-star quarterback in Colorado commit Andre Adams decides to come out this weekend, take in the sights, and hang out with a bunch of guys from all over the country. Really,
just added to the recruiting staff for the weekend.
Pretty much. He's got an OV coming up in June. I think it's early June, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So he will be back for another massive recruiting weekend then. But that's huge. You got your quarterback in town, obviously, on like an unofficial visit too, to just kind of help with recruiting. I mean, when we played the clip, I think right before you left, actually, about him at that Rivals camp, I think in Nashville, talking about that responsibility of being the quarterback commit and having to recruit and all that. He was not lying when it came to all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just so important. We talked about it from the beginning, like getting your quarterback this early is one of the most valuable things that you can do in a cycle. And clearly it's already paying dividends.
And it's a big difference between getting a quarterback who can help you recruit off his name and off his star power. But it's a whole different ballgame in this case when you have that type of player who's going out of his way, who's like putting in the work to build these relationships, build these connections, and help your recruiting staff, kind of get these dogs. Like he took photos, with Barack, with Marquise Fennell, with Khalil Taylor, receiver who I know he would love to play with, Isaiah Alvarez as well. Like him being here in Boulder this weekend, he didn't have to when he's already scheduled to be here for an official visit in a couple weeks, June 5th weekend, I think says a lot about what this 2027 recruiting class could turn into, because you just straight up haven't really had that aside from maybe Shedeur in terms of the way he was recruiting the transfer portal specifically, kind of head of that 2024, kind of a player who is, like I said, has the star power, who's going out of his way to get pieces together to kind of fit around him. So I love that from Andre. He has really been an impressive young man since, Buff Nation has got to know him since he is committed.
For sure. Do you have some of those pictures from the visits, Dion? That is Tyler Alexander. That is Coach Prime.
Jeez.
That is also the wall.
The wall.
Yep. That's the wall. He might have skyrocketed to me to gotta have it.
I mean,
gotta have him.
Look, he's a whole head taller than Coach Prime.
He's listed at 6'3.5".
Also,
315.
His head is the size of 2 Coach Prime heads.
Yes,
and I feel like that's an indicator. Big head, you know what I'm saying? Like that is that NFL scouts be looking at it, whatnot. His offer list is ridiculous. Florida, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, amongst some others. 20 tackles for loss last season as a junior. 20 tackles for loss. Bro lives in the backfield, and good luck blocking him at the point of attack.
Yeah, he's rated a 4-star on the 247 Sports Composite, again, from Wellington, Florida, Palm Beach Central High School. I don't know how he's only listed at 6'3.5", 315. I don't know if he's wearing 4-inch heels on the shoes or something. Honestly, because that is Coach Prime is
Coach Prime is over 6 feet tall.
Yes, he is he was a big
6'2",
cornerback back in the day. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's just crazy to see right there. Who we got here, Scotty? Obviously, it's Gunner in the middle.
The boy's trying to build a wall. I'm not completely sure. I believe all the way on the left is Dewey Young, an offensive tackle from Kalamazoo, Michigan, 6'5", 285 pounds. Let me see if I can try to do some more work here to figure out who these young men are. All the way on the right there is LaMarcus Jones, who actually today just put out a top 3 that includes Colorado, Purdue, and Mississippi State.
Stop playing.
Yeah. I'll say that again. His top 3, his final 3, Colorado, Purdue, and Mississippi State. LaMarcus Jones is a big fella, 6'6", 300 pounds. You see him there all the way on the right. I believe to the left or to the right next to LaMarcus Jones, all the way on the right there. Next to LaMarcus Jones is another offensive tackle from Tupelo, Mississippi. That is Antonio Berry. As you can see, another massive fella. I love that they're all taking a picture together too.
Yeah, facts.
Building that wall right there with Gunner. Antonio Berry, 6'5", 280 pounds. Again, from Tupelo, Mississippi. Has offers from Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Baylor. You see Gunner in the middle. Can you help me here on this last one? Our guy to the second there on the left. I'm not 100% sure who that is, but I'm sure with a little work we can find it out. But you just love that picture, man, especially, again, with Andre Adams there this weekend, you know, kind of seeing what his potential
complimentary visit.
Yeah, exactly. Complimentary visit. Yeah, up them points on the recruiting visit and whatnot. You love that. And Coach Gunner has just, in my opinion, done a great job since he has taken over this offensive line coaching position, both on recruiting and coaching.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
That might be Bryson Hurt, interior offensive lineman from Gainesville, Georgia.
Okay.
He played under Josh Niblett at Gainesville High School.
That would do it.
That'll work.
That would make a lot of sense.
Unless that is, I think that one of them is him, I think.
Okay.
So,
and that's Dewey Young posted that. He said, great OV this weekend, posting that picture, all of them. You see big Gerard over there on the right as well.
Yep.
You love that.
Yeah, tons of pictures. This was a great group in terms of posting, just hanging out in Boulder. Not a lot of uniform pictures yet.
Yeah.
But it seems like it was a really successful weekend for the team. I think they've already got some real momentum on a few other guys who maybe they weren't necessarily in on before this weekend. And then obviously Andre comes down. That's a massive sign for things to come.
If you each had to pick one guy from this visit weekend most likely to commit soon, who would you pick?
It'd probably be LaMarcus Jones. I've been putting out a top 3 right after his visit. I think there's something there. And I think Brock Willis as well.
Yeah, Brock Willis
seems to really like Boulder and what is being built in Colorado, which would be a massive add at that linebacker spot. He's a really talented blue chip type of player as well from Pell City, Alabama. So I think those would be my 2, Brock Willis and LaMarcus Jones.
So you're saying you have hope for Brock?
I'm keeping hope alive for sure. Change on the way.
We'll see what happens in terms of recruiting. But yeah, those 2 guys in particular, I think, are the arrow up. Isaiah Alvarez. I mean, this is a guy who they've really been, hot on the trail for. I think there's momentum building there. Pittsburgh, or New Jersey, the tri-state area, not necessarily a known pipeline for this program, but Brendan Marion coming in, it looks like things are changing. And then you add in the fact that you got Andre Adams down there with him. That could be your blue chip wide receiver commit and your tandem mate with Andre Adams.
I used to think that the tri-state area was just any 3 states.
No.
Like if I was just like, oh yeah, like this guy in Denver's, he's like the best hooper in the tri-state area. It just meant like the nearest 3 states to where we are.
Wait, so what is the tri-state area?
Oh, Lord.
What is it actually?
Yeah.
It's New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
Okay. You knew that?
Yes.
I only ever heard tri-state area on Phineas and Ferb. I don't know. That y'all might be too old for that, but like that was always like a thing that they said. I don't know why. Like, what was the correlation?
They must have been
there?
based out there, I guess.
No, for real. Hey, I'm about to send you one more thing, Dion, real quick, because there's a comment in the chat that I think is interesting, and we can talk about it here on the other side of this break.
Shout out to our friends over at Xfinity and their 5-year price guarantee. They are still at it, trying to bring you the strongest, reliable, most intelligent Wi-Fi there is out there. You know how it is when you're just trying to watch the game. You got the kids on the game. You got, mom scrolling or streaming Netflix, whatever's going on, and you just hit by that constant buffering, man. That annoying buffering. But Xfinity's got you covered with their smart, intelligent Wi-Fi. It kind of redirects the bandwidth where it's most needed in your home. It also has all your devices working in perfect harmony. And the best part, no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and you get Xfinity's best equipment included. You can take it from us. So much can change in 5 years. Championships are won. Records are broken. Dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, that should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with our friends over at Xfinity. You can learn more when you go to xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Some restrictions apply. Shout out to the good friends over at Xfinity.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Surfside. We are so locked in with Surfside. We are so locked in with Surfside to the point that right here, it is literally a Surfside truck making deliveries right outside of the DNVR bar. That's how locked in we are with Surfside, man. Weather isn't too nice today.
That's all for me, by the way.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think we can call it a coincidence for real, man. Summer is honestly here. Maybe not today, but it's rapidly approaching if it's not already here.
Nah, but Friday night was a Surfside night.
It was such a Surfside night, man. Yeah. Anytime you're inside of Coors Field watching the Rockies, the best beverage you can possibly have in your hand is a beautiful Surfside, man. This is premium vodka with real ingredients. We're talking about 100 calories and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. So whether you're hiking, you're golfing, you're just soaking up that Colorado sunshine, man, enjoy it with a Surfside. This ain't no seltzer, y'all. This is Surfside. So that bars, restaurants, and stores near you. You must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly. We're back talking a big recruiting weekend in Colorado. Cam Duncan in the chat says Khalil Taylor is bigger than I thought too. And I had the same thought when I saw this photo this weekend. Listen,
okay, perspective.
Listen. Coach Rashad is obviously not the biggest guy. But
I don't care.
He ain't that small as he look in this photo, I promise you. Right. Khalil Taylor, 4-star wide receiver, a true 4-star blue chip.
And their feet look decently aligned.
Yes. That's a big receiver right there.
It kind of even looks like Coach Schott is on the higher part of the rock.
It looks like his feet are higher up. Fact. That's a big boy right there. A true blue chip 4-star player, offers from Georgia, Nebraska, Alabama. He is kind of, Penn State seems to be leading the way for his recruitment right now because he is from out there in Pennsylvania. But that is also kind of Brennan Marion's, neck of the woods as well. So he obviously was in town this weekend, enjoyed his visit. Andre Adams was there as well. Khalil Taylor would be a massive, massive playmaking get for this 2027 class.
I took you guys to that exact spot.
Yep.
Sure did.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
He's also got the wheels to go along with that.
He can fly.
State qualifier in the 100-meter dash as a 9th grader?
Yes. Can fly.
Sheesh.
38 receiving touchdowns over the last 2 seasons.
Wow.
38. Absolutely ridiculous. Shout out Khalil Taylor.
Yeah, he's obviously very, very high on their priority list. So we'll see. He does have, a top 5 or 6 out, I believe, right?
I don't know if I've seen that.
Well, he's got 6. He's got 5 OVs set.
So it's probably those.
In order, starting with Colorado, then it goes to Georgia, then Penn State, then Nebraska, then Alabama.
Interesting list.
Very interesting. All right. Anything else from the recruiting weekend?
We got to see the young man play, but it really seems like this recruiting staff hit a home run with Andre Adams.
Absolutely.
From the mental makeup, the leadership, the maturity, he seems to really, like I said, check all the boxes they're looking for in the face of a program, the leader of a team, of a unit. And I'm really excited to watch him continue to grow, watch his senior season down there as well. So, this past weekend, I think, was massive for the future recruiting of this program.
Not to pour cold water on that, but it just makes me sad about the current state of college football that, I don't think the average fan can get as excited as you are about that,
About what exactly?
About just the prospects of Andre Adams. I think
okay.
that people are now wired to protect themselves emotionally towards getting excited about any high school player.
Hey, I don't blame you for doing that.
I don't either. It's just like one of those things where it's like, if this had been 8 years ago,
Without a doubt, yeah.
I mean, we might do a segment about Andre Adams every day.
Yep.
Just because the excitement would be so high over the idea that you got this guy and he's doing all this. But I think that the average fan is just kind of like tiptoeing into their excitement about anyone really.
Well,
Sure.
I think all of that is valid. Like I said, I wouldn't blame anybody from protecting their feelings or their heart from heartbreak potentially down the line. But I would say Andre Adams' actions are not those of a typical commit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, even quarterbacks, like they commit ahead of, a year ahead of maybe when they arrive in at college or as an early enrollee or whatever, bless you. And, they commit and you don't really hear about them. Right. Or they're doing their thing at their hometown and, they're getting ready for their senior season and, they're not out doing what Andre Adams was doing this weekend. Right. Yeah. And I think that is a reason for optimism in terms of him really wanting to be a part of what's going on in Colorado and staying locked in up until he's an early enrollee. But like I said, I completely understand the skepticism with the landscape of, college football and recruiting nowadays.
It's just a shame overall. It has nothing to do with Andre Adams specifically.
No, sure.
It's just the way that things have unfolded.
It's just where we're at in terms of college sports and honestly, high school sports. LaMarcus Jones, the big offensive tackle from Brentwood, Tennessee, we just talked about. He's been to 4 high schools in 4 years.
Wow.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, man.
I completely understand like the trepidation from the fan base when it comes to a lot of that. Like I would be too, but
I can't imagine having to switch high schools.
Yeah,
every year, hell no.
But it's just this is where we're at. Like players are gonna leave, players are gonna go out, but players are gonna come in too, right? And it is very year to year. It is kind of very transactional, but Coach Prime in Colorado have shown at least the tendency and the trend to bring blue chip players in, right? And they keep visiting and showing up and high profile transfers and everything. It's just a matter of getting the right yeses and the right group of yeses together, because then you get a good team. So, and
I also think it's a matter of stringing together success.
Of course,
making yourself a destination by having multiple winning seasons in a row. And obviously, you can only do one at a time right now. You can't get multiple in a row right now because you have 0 currently.
Yep.
But I think if you were to put together 2, 3, 4 consecutive winning seasons, then you really have the idea of people like, we're building something here. You're going to be a part of us going to the next level,
right?
Rather than us maybe going to the first level.
Sure. All right. We'll see what happens with this group of players. I think we have some more OVs coming in later this month, if not this weekend. But this is about the next, I don't know, month and a half or so. How far down does that list go?
So the next anticipated big recruiting weekend is June 5th.
Okay, so
which is weeks. Just 2.5 weeks or something like that.
And that's the Andre Adams weekend?
Yep, Andre Adams is supposed to be there. Ryan Ferdinand, a receiver. Jaden Lindsay, an offensive lineman. Kenny Fairley, who's committed to defensive lineman. King Thibodeau. And that's just a few names who are expected to be there with Andre Adams in a couple weeks in Boulder on June 5th weekend.
All right. We will see how it goes. You missed some stuff, RK. I don't think you missed a lot, but we'll catch you up.
All right.
So on Friday, we talked about Coach Prime showing up on the morning run with Neely and Chico on Thursday. And Coach Prime was like taking questions and stuff from fans and all that. And he actually revealed quite a bit of information on this year's team, at least kind of more so in like a debrief on the spring type of thing. I'm just going off memory here. First and foremost, he mentioned that he really liked the offensive line. Was really impressed by them and what they did this spring. He absolutely loves Nate Mitchell. He compared him to Shiloh. Said he's got like that intensity. If not, he's faster. You can tell him the story of the.
Yeah, he said. Coach Prime said when he first watched Nate on film, that out of the transfer portal. He told his people, like, call his mom and them right now. Now. And like Jake said, like, he says he sees a lot of Shiloh in Nate. He said he has the same kind of aggression, but he thinks Nate is quicker, faster, and whatnot.
Shiloh, you have 24 hours to respond.
And I was asking Jake when we talked about that, like, I can't remember a time where Coach Prime compared any player to one of his sons. Maybe like
a Juju Shedeur thing?
That was the only one.
Yeah.
And even that was kind of like I don't really want to like give, him that praise in terms of comparing him to my son, but there's obviously similarities. But other than that, there hasn't been any of that, which I think says a lot. Nate is going to be, I think, so good. That's an all-conference player, I think, this year.
Yep, I think so. He go ahead.
Finish, and then I'll give my take.
He just talked about how impressive Rando is physically, what he does on the football field
Big
as
fella.
well. But I mean, it's one of the most impressive things about this football team, I think, overall, is the fact that they got a safety that big, running around back there, dropping down in the box, doing all those things. He said he thinks he's going to give Boo Carter the shot to play corner on the outside.
Hold on, I want to go back to Nate Mitchell before we move on.
Okay.
In the event that Nate Mitchell is as good as everything we just talked about, it is an incredibly validating thing to conversations that were had about Tawfiq Bayard.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Neely who took a lot of heat for saying, like, are you going to give someone $1 million when you could get the same production for 400,000? I don't remember what the numbers were or if that's even accurate, but that opened up a whole thing.
Sure did.
And in the event that Nate Mitchell comes out and is an all-conference player, it would be very validating to that concept.
Without a doubt.
And it's a whole thing that we talk about all the time about positional value.
Yes, dude.
And where you can afford to spend a lot of money and where you can moneyball it, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And that's one of those positions.
For sure.
It absolutely is. Safety, even in the NFL, happens all the time. Justin Simmons, a guy who played a long time here in Denver, just kind of like, people just figured, hey, why would I pay this guy $5+ million a year when I could just draft a safety who's going to give me equal production?
And Justin Simmons was that safety who was drafted to replace TJ Ward.
Exactly, yes.
Same thing, it's happened 3 years. Again, assuming Nate turns into the player that we think he can be, it would happen 3 years. Cam came from where? Cam Summan-Cribb came from Jackson State. Tawfiq Bayard came from where? USF.
Yeah.
Nate Mitchell came from New Mexico State. Like, there's a path here where you can see, like, you can go find dogs at the lower level. You can get them on a bargain, potentially. Value is probably a better word. And that's the smart way to build a roster when you don't have the budget of a Texas Tech or a Texas or so have you.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said he wants Boo to play outside. So we'll see that, I'm sure. So it sounds like Boo and Cree are your cornerbacks.
Well, and that's really good news for Boo at the next level, I think.
That's what he said as well, Coach Prime.
Well, look at that. Coach Prime and I on the same wavelength. I mean, I think that if he were to ball out outside after we've already seen him ball out in the SEC on the inside, it does a lot for his perceived versatility and what he can do at the next level.
Facts.
It just makes that slot nickel spot very interesting, right? Who is that going to be? Is that going to be a Justin Eaglin? Is that going to be one of the young boys? Is that going to be a Braylon or a Mojo? Is that going to be a Jaja?
Yeah, Jaja could fit there.
He kept saying, though, those freshman DBs are coming.
Yeah.
But he did also specifically say in 2 years they're going to be, But who knows?
Charles Barkley quote.
Who knows, for real? But that's going to be one of the most fascinating things I'm going to be looking at and focusing on as fall camp approaches is who's going to be that slot nickel guy.
Yep.
If it's going to be Boo and Cree on the outside, which I'm really excited about. Those two guys on the perimeter. That's a lot of playmaking.
Sounds really good.
A lot of playmaking aggression right there from those
secondary.
two. Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
Maybe you go like a 3 safety look.
A lot of options.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they end up doing with that.
And look, we talked a lot about them playing like multiple fronts and stuff. And Coach Prime says is the best linebacker room he's ever coached. And he says he thinks he has 3 pros. You could go old school 4-3-4 if you really think that those linebackers are going to give you the best chance to win.
Yeah.
Just, running stuff down, just making sure that runs don't pop. You already got playmakers in the secondary.
Yeah.
It's just going to make you more versatile.
I kind of am thinking that the Big 12, well, I don't know. What do you think? Are we going to trend back towards a run-heavy Big 12? It's kind of been like alternating years.
Nick Saban was talking about this recently, actually, saying that, with all the spread, option, RPO stuff, we are going to, football's a cyclical game. We're going to bounce back to that smash mouth, I formation.
But the NFL is heading that way.
Last year when you looked at like the quarterbacks in the league, it was like, okay, it's like kind of a quarterback-heavy league.
Yeah.
It's not really
it's
like
not
that
this year.
No. Let's take our next break, and then we will continue updating our K. Shout out to our friends over at
Toyota, man. Oh, I missed my Toyota. I missed my Toyota deeply out in Italy. We actually did have a rental car for one leg of the trip, and it wasn't a Toyota. That was hard to come by at the Italian rental companies.
Sure.
But it just made me appreciate my Toyota even more. Just that smooth ride, that reliability, the gas mileage, everything just lines up perfectly with the Toyota. And now that I'm back, we are officially on new Toyota watch.
Hell yeah.
It could be as soon as this week that I end up with a new Toyota.
Whoa.
And, I mean, what a reveal that will be
I know.
when it finally happens. So I will be heading over to a Front Range Toyota store because they have the best customer care, the best customer service. And if you are looking for a new Toyota like me, visit a Front Range Toyota store at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of Colorado Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Fanatics, your one-stop shop for all your sports fandom. If you want to get the official gear for your favorite teams, players, including the latest drops, exclusive release, and must-have merch all in one place, Fanatics is the place to go. You know, we're in off-season for football. It's the time, in my opinion, to stock up on all your football gear, whether it's NFL, your Buff stuff. Maybe you're getting, baseball fever in the summer right now, and you can get yourself, Rockies or whatever team is out there near you who's actually winning, I guess. But the Avs are still running strong. If you want to support the Avs, it's never too late to hop on the bandwagon with them and root them onto the Stanley Cup. Plus, on Fanatics, you can play games and earn fan cash. You can also get notified about the latest trading card drops like Topps Chrome NFL, Cosmic Chrome Basketball, and many, many more. Download the Fanatics app and start cashing in on your fandom. Get it today at thednvr.com/fanatics. It's app access open to all. 21 plus to play. No purchase necessary. U.S. only and void where prohibited. All right. So, Coach Prime, very excited about that linebacker room.
Said it's the best he's had in his history of coaching.
Pretty crazy. I mean, yeah. The one that would really stick out is Levante and Nakai. Mm-hmm. And that one was really good. I mean, I would argue the heartbeat of the defense that year.
Absolutely.
100%.
Although the safety group was also, Cam and Shiloh.
Yep.
Even though Shiloh wasn't himself for most of that year. So, yeah, they set the tone. I felt like every game they were doing something on the first series on defense that was just setting the tone. So if this linebacker group is better than that one, it bodes really well for this defense. And we talk so much about the offense because the go-go is so exciting, and we have the utmost respect and excitement around Brendan Marion.
Yeah.
There's a real world where this defense is winning football games for this team. Mm-hmm. And if those two things match up,
Yep,
special things could happen.
Without a doubt.
Let me ask y'all a question. If y'all could have one position group, let's take quarterback out of it, where you were promised before the season that position group would be the best in the Big 12, which position group would y'all choose?
Offensive line, without a doubt.
Can I choose quarterback?
No, excluding quarterback. Offensive line, without a doubt, huh?
You are immediately in contention to win the Big 12 if you have the Big 12's best offensive line.
I think I would choose that as well. It's also, it would probably be one of the lines for me.
Dion, what say you?
I'd say defensive line, actually.
I would say trenches for sure.
Which one? You got to pick one. You got to pick O-line or D-line, though.
O-line. I'll say O-line.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the game's won it.
And there's the most players.
Yes.
Like, it's the hardest to have the best of that because you got to have 5 at least good players on an offensive line.
Totally.
Yeah. I think I would pick defensive line, though. So I think we'd be split on that just because of the ability to stop the run and rush the passer, can render your opponent useless. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Which is a lot of what Texas Tech's kind of formula recipe was last year.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I just don't think they're going to be the same team that they were last year. And
Me either.
Cody Campbell's over here talking about analytics and all this shit.
Yep.
They dominated everyone from whistle to whistle in the trenches, especially on the defensive line, every game last year. And they're just most games were over before they started because of
Seriously.
Yep.
And we were talking about it a little bit last week. I'm at the point, I wonder how you feel about it. I'm at the point where I think BYU's the best team in the Big 12 right now, as we sit here today.
I mean, I could sign off on that. The thing, Texas Tech is certainly more talented than them.
I'd say look, dude. They spent money. They're going to have talent. They're going to have players. It's not probably going to be the top end D line of last year, but it's still going to be damn good.
Yeah. So the quarterback thing is interesting. We just did. I don't think we talked about it on air. That there's a report that Will Hammond will be ready in August.
Yeah. So shoot.
Which is, I think, Texas Tech's way of saying we know we're not going to have Sorsby to even just leak that information out.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk a lot more about that here soon.
Just a couple weeks ago, they were saying that week 3 was the target point of getting Will Hammond back at least 100%.
Heather Dinich reported today Will Hammond is expected to be cleared for all football activities on August 21st. Coach Joey McGuire told her he should be allowed to participate in player-led 7-on-7s in June. The ideal scenario is have him ready by week 2, but McGuire said Hammond should be ready to play in Game 3 versus Houston.
Oh, okay.
So this is probably around the same timeline.
And that is the game before Colorado, I believe?
I think so.
5 or 4? 5 or 4. So he might
4.
get 2 under his belt before they play Colorado.
Okay.
But they have a joke out of conference. That Houston game is really their toughest game up until the Colorado game. So that'll be the one everyone's watching for, of course. We'll talk Sorsby here a bit on the other side. Last thing Coach Prime said, though, someone in the chat had it, said Cam Perry is a killer.
Let's get that straight right now.
Yep.
That's exciting, too.
Yep.
We already know Danny.
Yep.
He's already been stamped. So you add Cam to that mix. I'd like someone in the running back room to be stamped as a killer.
He did not go that far. He just said that same thing that we've heard. He thinks that 4 of them can get the job done. We'll see who emerges.
Yeah. I'd love just like anyone to just take the reins. Like, we can't stop giving this guy the rock.
To my question earlier about like which position group would you pick, like quickly running back crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Like if you have head and
really
shoulders
nice.
the best running back in the conference, like
That'd be really nice.
it's a game changer.
You can tell me right now,
It's hard
DeKalen
if you
Taylor.
get the line, though.
Yeah,
Sure, no doubt, you're right.
starts with the line.
Facts.
But if you
You're
told me
right.
right now, like DeKalen Taylor's going to rush for 1,200 yards,
I mean, I would take that over a lot of things.
Yeah, me
you
too.
know what I'm saying? I would take that over a lot.
Just running through other things that you could have missed. Anything come to your mind, Scotty? We'll talk about the playoff here in a bit too.
I saw, maybe opening a can of worms here, but I saw like people being mad about Prime saying that he wants to talk with Todd Monken about Shedeur.
Yeah, we never really talked about that. But
yeah, I
that's
don't think
crazy.
we got into that.
I just don't. What could anyone be mad about that for?
Who knows, bro?
And then I saw other people being mad that he said he was surprised, disappointed, something that the Jags coaching staff didn't reach out to him at all about coaching Travis. That one actually shocks me. Not that people are mad. They'll be mad about anything Coach Prime does. I'm shocked that they didn't.
Yeah,
I think that that's bad business.
it's bad, like due diligence.
Yes, exactly.
And it's I think more surprising or anything based on what the Jaguars did to acquire Travis.
Right.
Totally.
You know, trading up. And Gladstone strikes me as the type of dude who would want all the intel possible on a guy like Travis Hunter that you traded up as. I mean, that's his first draft pick as a GM.
And just the way he like
You
talked
know?
to him and talked about him.
And like that's why it's surprising to me that forget Liam Cohen for a second, that James Gladstone, the one who made the decision to go up and draft Travis, didn't at least once want to just have a conversation to pick Coach Prime's brain about him.
Even if you aren't a Coach Prime fan and you think that you're going to come out of the conversation with nothing,
Yeah.
which you wouldn't, you still have the conversation.
What is 10 minutes of your time to ask
Exactly.
about your most valuable player?
Exactly. You call him and you ask what worked, what didn't work, what did he like, what did he not like.
Yeah.
You know, like this is a guy who Travis considered a father figure,
Exactly.
who I felt like pressed all of the right buttons with Travis Hunter, especially in that Heisman season, knowing how to keep him motivated, keep him active, like doing all the things that activate the best version of Travis Hunter. Silly to not have that conversation.
Dealing with an injury that year too and stuff, and like
Right.
they maneuvered through that situation pretty beautifully. Honestly, it obviously ended in a Heisman Trophy still. So.
Yeah.
I almost forget that he was banged up a little bit during that year. Like missed at least one game. Was it 2? Or was it just the one?
The Arizona game, he like played like a quarter and a half, and
Right.
then they started whooping ass. So they were like,
Right.
all right, you don't need to.
So did he not miss a game then? I thought maybe not.
I don't think he missed the game. I think there might have been another.
Was Arizona the first game after Kansas State? Because that's the game that he got injured. I mean, he missed the whole
He did.
most of the Kansas State game.
He did.
Sure, maybe that's what I'm thinking of then.
Yeah. I mean, you put it together, he probably did miss like a total of a game, I think.
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy to think about. And honestly, it's crazy, having seen how the Jags season, specifically with Travis, unfolded.
Right.
They look kind of crazy for not asking Coach Prime because it seems like they didn't have a plan.
Without a doubt, dude.
At least one that worked with how to utilize him on either side of the ball, which is really unfortunate because that was a wasted rookie season, all things considered for Travis.
I'm not in those coaching meetings, but the way that they were using him early in the year just puzzled me.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's kind of it, dude. I mean, we've been
Season
trying.
opener. Did you know it was going to be on Thursday at 6:00 on ESPN?
I did know that. Yeah, I did know that.
Brent Key kind of named Alberto Mendoza the starter.
Okay.
He is elated with Justice Haynes. They are going to force feed the hell out of that kid in week 1.
It might be a good time to bust out that 4-3.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nah, for
It's
real.
gonna be interesting. Okay, yeah. Current news then. We already kind of talked about Will Hammond, but Texas Tech today, more news about Brendan Sorsby. There's actually news on Friday that we just really didn't get to, that Sorsby notified the NCAA with a request for an expedited resolution to reinstate his eligibility over the sports gambling allegations. That was on Friday. Well, today, it sounds like that court case has been filed in Lubbock County, Texas. It cites the NCAA's, quote, deeply hypocritical positions on gambling and a, quote, wholesale abandonment of its obligations and duties to promote the well-being of Sorsby.
I don't understand what that means.
They're basically saying, like, how y'all gonna punish this man for gambling when y'all are profiting off of gambling?
I get that too, but what does that have to do with the wholesale abandonment of their duties?
Because they're saying, like,
to his well-being.
they're basically saying, like, you got to put student athletes first above all else, and they're not doing it in this case, according to them. And this is kind of what I said. This part too. This is the filing says Sorsby suffers from a clinically diagnosed gambling disorder, which is a, quote, mental health condition. They're going to play that mental health role. He says the NCAA has, or this filing says, the NCAA has weaponized his condition to shore up a facade of competitive integrity while simultaneously profiting from the very gambling ecosystem it polices.
This is what, if I'm the president of the NCAA, I come back and be like, we acknowledge that he has a troubling addiction. And because of that, we cannot trust him to stop gambling on games. And we would also recommend the NFL not accept him into their league because it's too dangerous to the competitive nature of the sport.
Bro, and if you really are mentally unwell and you have this, mental health thing going on where you are a gambler, that's not going to get fixed in a month. That's not going to get fixed in the next 4 months before week 1. Like, you need to go through the proper channels and make sure you are healthy on the other side of this.
He already checked into rehab.
NCAA should come back and say, if he goes to a year of rehab,
facts.
we would consider then reinstating him.
And listen to this quote from Sorsby. He goes, if I cannot practice with the team, it will be severely detrimental to my mental health and my development as an athlete.
Hey,
Without access to coaching. Go ahead.
the NCAA didn't budge on Tyler Brown when he actually had a real case.
Yeah.
A real mental health struggles.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
He continues, Sorsby, without access to coaching, teammates, and on-field repetitions, I cannot develop the chemistry and skills necessary to start a quarterback in the 2026 season. And each additional day away compounds that harm. These development opportunities cannot be replaced or replicated.
Brother, you're away in rehab, though.
Here's what I'll say. Yeah, seriously. The NCAA should say, we'll absolutely expedite this process. No.
Right. There's your answer. No.
Yes.
Yep.
Pete Thamel also. Did you have something else?
No, it's all just comes back to Cody Campbell for me, and I just can't stand the guy.
Pete Thamel also adds that the filing mentions that timing is critical for Sorsby, as it says he's, quote, required to enter the supplemental draft by June 22nd, and faces a quote impossible choice with that. But this is what I kept telling Scotty when we were talking about this when you were gone. Like, I just don't understand how dude can just like blatantly break the rules, and then he's suing the NCAA for the rules that he broke.
Yeah.
Like, I know like double jeopardy shouldn't be a thing, but like, bro, you like the original sin was you breaking the rule. Like, to me, it's pretty black and white. Like, you can try and sue as much as you can, but like, why can't the NCAA just like point to the rule and go, he broke this rule, that is just it?
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it's like you can make a case that the NCAA should not be promoting gambling.
Yes.
Of course.
It does not have any bearing on whether or not you broke the rules.
Facts.
So, yeah, that to me is like you could start a whole other case that you're suing the NCAA that they shouldn't be allowed to promote gambling. Maybe you could win that, and you could have some damages, whatever. But it has nothing to do with you broke a very clearly stated rule.
Let alone breaking the law. You gambled underage, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. That to me, that's the most frustrating part about this is we can still break rules and get upset that we broke rules and countersue, even though we were the ones who did the wrong thing.
It's the classic. It's y'all fault. I did this.
Right. How could you have let me do this?
Right. And hurry up with my punishment too. Let me know.
Yeah, for real.
I'm on board with him saying they should speed up the punishment.
Sure.
The punishment is very simple. It's cut and dry. It's right there written in the rules.
I agree.
You're done.
It just seems kind of tone deaf. Just the way that they're going about it.
I agree.
The filing also this quote, instead of exercising compassion, the NCAA has responded with silence, repeated information demands, and delay. And as Schefter tweeted earlier today, I think you might have mentioned this earlier, Jake, but the supplemental draft paperwork is due June 22nd, and the draft will likely be at the end of July. So
Jack in the comments says, Sorsby bet on Indiana football in 2022 to feel, quote, more connected with the team per his affidavit in court documents.
that's hilarious. That
I
sounds
mean,
like somebody would
where's
say
that
that.
I do feel more connected to the team when I throw some action on it.
I mean, he wasn't playing that either. He's like, I gotta
Facts.
have some skin in the game.
For
you know
real.
what I-
Trying
Holy
to
cow.
feel more connected to San Antonio than I am at OKC.
So yeah, that's the latest there. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't spend the entire summer talking about it. The 2014 playoff seems to be a thing that is gaining more momentum. I could give you all the latest updates. What it boils down to is basically the SEC wants the 2014 playoff as well as the Big Ten. The Big 12 actually came out, and Brett Yormark came out in support of the 2014 format as well. However,
It's more money.
exactly. However, the ACC commissioner did say that ESPN wants to stay at 12
Interesting.
for whatever that's worth. Or
No, they
was
don't.
It 16?
They don't. Oh, yeah. They stay at 12. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, they want to
Yeah.
stay at 12.
Which is crazy that the networks, ACC commissioner pretty much put it out there like the networks are in the way of this.
Well, you had
just so
the-
y'all know.
The
What's
best
the-
point of it, though.
Which was what?
ESPN has like a monopoly on the
Oh,
games. They don't
for
want to
sure.
share the other games with like.
Yeah. It's their thing.
To me, can we just have one 12 seed win a game before we expand to 13, 14, 15, 16?
I agree.
Like the 12 seeds have not looked like they belonged at all.
No.
Or did not look like they belonged.
the whole
So
first round.
Was
the last couple
Miami
years.
8 last year?
They were.
Yes, 8 or 9.
They were down there. They
Yeah.
were that large.
8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were 8. So that's the cutoff for me right now. 8 belong for sure. No one else has proven that they belong yet. The 24th best team in America has absolutely a 0% chance of winning the national championship. I don't think they belong in the playoff.
It's a great kind of segue, I think. Bill Connolly wrote this article about the problems with the 2014 playoff. So let's go back to. So this is the 2025 season
Miami was the 10 seed. Okay.
that he's talking about here.
This past season?
I believe so. So, okay. Yeah, this is from last year. So there's a ton of different examples here. So bear with me. Ohio State was really good, right? Michigan, not so good. They were what, a 9-2 team, I think, going into this game against Ohio State or maybe they were already 8-3. And so Bill Connolly writes how things would have played out if we had a 2014 bracket this year and how rivalry week and those implications would have affected or not affected the playoff field. So Michigan would have needed a miracle upset of Ohio State to have any playoff hope. Instead, they lose by 18. They're out, right? But with a 24-team playoff field, they're in regardless. They ended up finishing like 19th in the final poll. Michigan was not a playoff team last year. I can tell you that for sure. Alabama had to beat Auburn to keep its place in the CFP field and proceed to blow a 17-point lead before rallying late to win. Meanwhile, Oklahoma needed to beat LSU to hold on to a berth and trailed with 5 minutes left before a late score. With a 24-teamer, both teams are comfortably in and having opening round home games regardless. Texas and Vandy needed to beat A&M and Tennessee, respectively, and hope for some chaos to both get in the field. They both won, but they didn't get in. But with a 24-teamer, they're both in regardless. Georgia Tech, they played Georgia in a late season game last year. The committee actually boosted the Yellow Jackets in the rankings after another loss to the Dogs. Turns out they're out regardless, though. Arizona, they go and put it on Arizona State last year in the Territorial Cup. And Virginia, they had to play in that ACC title game as like the 19th team in the country or whatever. Like, they would have been in. They didn't even have to play the ACC title game, and that was like a weird ACC title game already. Now that game would not have mattered.
Yeah. You're driving a nail into the coffin of the thing that made college football special in the first place.
Yes.
Which is that every game counts. Look at this. You know who the 25th ranked team in the final college football rankings were?
The G5 team?
No.
I'd be like
North Texas was 24.
Shoot.
Houston was around there?
Houston was 22, so they would have been in. It's TCU.
Oh, yikes. A team that Colorado was leading at one point?
Colorado should have beat them.
Straight out. Yeah, it's crazy.
That would have been a playoff team last year or a fringe playoff team.
First out.
Yeah, they would have been rioting in the streets of Fort Worth that they got left out.
Yeah.
We got robbed.
We deserve to play Georgia and lose by 50 again.
The stockyards are just ablaze.
Right.
Respect the stockyards, bro.
I love the stockyards.
What a time.
I'm buying stock in the stockyard. I think that's the next Nashville.
Low key.
Hell yeah.
I can see it. But no, it's crazy. I mean, like you said earlier, this is clearly a money grab. And as Connolly puts in his story too, in terms of the problems with the 2014 playoff, straight up, nobody asked for this.
Yeah, seriously.
Simply. No one asked for this.
Yeah.
The only people who are asking for this is the people who are going to monetarily benefit from this.
Yep.
The networks and the people like that. It's crazy. I mean, my one thing for a 2014 playoff is that it just straight up would potentially benefit Colorado, right? I mean, that would just objectively increase their chances of making the playoff.
That's true.
But other than that, there isn't much, I don't think, to really like about this. But I think that means that it's probably going to happen eventually, though.
So we would have been in the college football playoff in 2024.
Do you have that, the bracket still?
Let me see. I can find it. Give me 2 seconds.
But yes, definitely. Like firmly in. Damn near.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that Kansas loss, we would have been like, damn, that sucks for seeding.
Yeah.
Literally. Literally.
Like, oh, we might have gotten a top 12 seed
For sure.
if we won that.
You have it? There it is. So Colorado, interestingly enough, would have matched up against Boise State. We would have gotten a Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty matchup in the
Now,
playoffs.
don't sell me on this.
Would have been electric. When I saw this too, I was like, actually, there are a couple matchups that would have been like must-see TV. But like, bro, how much?
They're a 23 seed. Am I seeing that right?
I think that is right, yeah.
Yeah, 23.
So Justin
We sneak in and we get to play Boise State.
And-
Travis
and
Hunter
Boise.
versus Ashton Jenny
in
Yes.
Boise State.
on the blue turf.
That would have been the most watched first round game.
Oh, for sure.
Winner would have gone on to face Tennessee. I think the Buffs absolutely beat Boise State. I mean, Ashton Genty probably gets his in 150, but
Oh, bro.
I think the Buffs. are the
Travis
better
does
team.
unthinkable things against those
I
Boise
agree.
State defensive backs.
Oh, that would have been so fun.
Shedeur throws for 574
I mean,
yards.
Shedeur's going crazy.
Don't sell me on this. I was all the way out.
Tennessee, it probably does not end well for Colorado, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the Nico year. they went to the playoff that year and lost in the first round to Texas? I thought I remember them playing an orange team, also orange team. But I think that's what it was. I think that would have been
Ohio State.
Oh, okay. You're probably right.
I think Ohio State beat the hell out of them in Knoxville.
Maybe it was Clemson who played. I know there was a matchup of orange teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously retrospect, but I think Tennessee would have been a terrible matchup. It being, would that have been in Knoxville, or that would have been a neutral site game
so I
at that
think
point?
in the format, they give those buys to the home team. Or the home team.
Instead of hosting, you get a bye?
You still host with the bye because it's still, I think,
okay.
the first two rounds are on campus.
So that would have been in Knoxville.
I think,
Okay.
yes.
That
The
would've been
only damn it. Now I'm coming around. Because now this is essentially making bowl games matter again.
In a
tough. These
way.
would be the bowl games,
These
right?
are the
Yeah.
bowl games.
Sure.
And so right now, bowl games only matter for a few teams, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just making it so bowl games matter for more teams. Like, I guess in that season, Colorado BYU was like an interesting, fun bowl matchup. Both teams said that they were, in. One team definitely looked like they were made good on that promise. But most games aren't like that.
Facts.
Yeah.
So like Colorado Boise that year would have been more intriguing than Colorado BYU.
100%.
Most definitely.
Damn it. 48 team playoff. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
I mean, why not? Open it up.
All the bowl
138.
games are now playoff games. They all matter.
Just 138 field. Line everyone up against each other, bro.
I mean, they just
Let's settle
expanded.
it on the field.
They just expanded the men's and women's basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
It seems like this is inevitable.
Expand those to 256 or whatever the number is too. Why not? Oregon is suing a player.
Why are they doing that?
Why are they doing that? Scotty asks. Oregon Live's Ryan Clark reports that Oregon is reportedly suing former football player Dakota Fields for an alleged breach of contract. Fields is now at the University of Oklahoma after transferring in the offseason. He agreed to pay the university nearly $40,000 in exchange for a release from his contract when he decided to transfer. While the two parties allegedly agreed to discount the payment by $10,000 if Fields made the payment by April 20th, Oregon claims Fields didn't submit it by the agreed upon date. They are now seeking full reinstatement of those funds. Dan Lanning was asked about this back in November when Fields.
So
just
this is
stopped
over
showing up.
$10,000?
It's over 40,000. They were going to decrease it by 10,000, so it would have been around 30,000.
The way they made it sound is that he made the payment, but he didn't make it in time.
First of all,
I don't know.
mistake
that.
number one, making a deadline on 420.
True. Very true.
But also, this seems like it's over $10,000.
To me, that's what it sounded like as well.
Lanning was asked about it back in November when Fields stopped showing up, and he said he didn't come to work today. We haven't talked to Dakota, so I guess that's the way it goes nowadays.
But I don't think that this is worth it for Oregon. Over $10,000, even if it's $40,000, only because you're now setting a precedent of like, oh yeah, we'll go after you if you enter the transfer portal once you come here, which then makes someone potentially think twice before going there in the first place.
And Oregon, I saw something. I think they have the most players drafted from the transfer portal over the last 5 years or so.
Interesting.
So yeah, that'd be interesting.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze there.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know. I guess you're like trying to set a precedent for the players on campus that like you can't just get away with whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's good. Yeah, like you said, the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
That's all the news today.
And also, I guess I just don't know why why Oklahoma wouldn't just pick up that tab.
That might be why he didn't pay it.
It's got to be why he didn't pay it.
But technically, Oklahoma already did pick up that tab by the money that they're paying him.
Well, yes.
But then theoretically, he should have that bread then.
He does.
He absolutely does. Yes. He absolutely does. All right. That was good. Welcome back.
Great stuff,
back,
boys.
brother.
Great to be back.
We will be back tomorrow and all week for what's turned out to be a rainy week out here in Colorado. But we'll keep it fun.
As they say, we need the moisture.
That we do. We'll see you guys then.
Let's go Buffs.
Y'all silly like the mayor.